Okay, so we will go to the next paper. Um, the next paper is the SOC Science Statistics Integration on Test and Evaluation in Statistics Science and Mastering Statistics using Free Online Resource from Mr. Ronaldo Jr. Colado. Please, Mr. Ronaldo.
Hello, good
Ronaldo,
morning.
yeah.
Am I being
Good
heard clearly?
morning.
Thank you, Miss Nalin. Have I pronounced it right?
Yeah, it's correct. Nalin, yeah.
I'll be sharing my screen with you. And again, good morning here from the Philippines. It's already 8:41
8.
a.m. here.
Yeah.
And I believe in GMT -5, it's 7:41 p.m. Okay, so good evening as well. In that regard, I would like to welcome everyone for this presentation. And to tell you the truth, I am a colleague of Mr. Ryan J. Verbo. We are from the same division of Department of Education. So, mabuhay and welcome to the 26th Asian Technology Conference in Mathematics. And I am here to present to you my paper entitled Sock Size Statistics Integration on Test and Evaluation in Statistics, also known as the acronym SITES, Mastering Statistics using free online resource. I am your presenter, Mr. Reynaldo Cipriano Jr., a teacher from Department of Education, Mandaluyong City of Schools Division Office of Highway Hills Integrated School. And today, I would like to discuss with you the salient points of my study. First is the fact that K-12 curriculum was implemented in the year 2012. Actually, it was started with the Republic Act 10533, which is also known as Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, which offered the kindergarten up to 12th year of grade levels for the junior high school, elementary, and the senior high school levels. Now, our curriculum have shifted from kinder to grade 10 into kinder to grade 12, which is why there are a lot of changes when it comes to the curriculum itself. First is the offering of the senior high school level, which offered 5 tracks in all. So these 5 tracks contains different subjects, but we have 3 types of subjects in senior high school. First is the core subjects, second, applied subjects, and finally, we also have the specialized subjects intended for the specialization of each of the 5 tracks mentioned earlier. Now, among these core subjects is the subject statistics and probability. And as statistics and teacher, it is my mission to make sure that statistics learning would be meaningful to all my students because they will be able to apply this in writing their researches. Core subject is essentially a prerequisite of some subjects in senior high school. And I believe that statistics and probability would help a lot even in the future after their senior high school career, which is why I am very glad that I have made the research using a free tool that can be found online. So let's go first with the theoretical framework augmented in this study. So I have augmented 2 theories, particularly the behaviorism theory of Thorndike, which believed to be confirmed that greatly promotes and effectively implements in programmatic instruction and has strongly promoted and widely applied in computer-assisted instructions and the development of educational technology. In the behaviorism theory, we are testing the influence of one's learning behavior with regards to the association of this behavior with punishment and reward. And that in the same way, this was variedly used in several studies conducted concerning about computer-assisted program. Since we are talking about technology in this conference and it's all about mathematics, I have integrated a certain website that is free for all to access and can be assisting in several discussions in statistics and probability. And perhaps, although statistics is a combination of simple math and operations, it is still difficult for most students because the students themselves cannot follow a step-by-step process if the information is already overloaded, which is why the discussion will be revolving around a certain website that I'll be introducing later on. Second, I have also augmented the theory of diffusion of innovations. Now, this describes the steps of technology innovation, process, and characteristics of accepting new technologies, as well as receivers' role in receiving process of technological innovation. Although I could say that the website that I'll be presenting is my innovation, it is not my innovation actually, but I firmly believe that the website itself, since it's free for all, we can utilize this website for us to be able to have an innovation inside the classroom that would really help and boost the performance of our students in the field of statistics and probability. This is the operational framework of the study. First, I have the inputs, obviously, of my students basing on the test scores of them in statistics before the implementation of my strategy, which is the SITE strategy, SOC Statistics Integration on Statistics and Evaluation. And my input as well are the grade 11 statistics students. Now, they will undergo the process of administering the entire strategy for about 2 months. And after that, they will have their post-test, which is parallel with the pre-test conducted before the implementation of the study. After that, the data will be undergoing the test difference for pre-test and post-test using the statistical tools that will be seen later on. Next, for the output, it is expected that there will be an improved academic performance in statistics of these grade 11 students. Along with this process, of course, is the conduct of feedbacking for me to be able to improve the parts of this framework. Now, let me just introduce you briefly as to what SOC statistics is. So SOC statistics, according to its homepage or its homepage, you can see this description in their homepage. This is a website that is offering free resources for students and researchers working with statistics in social sciences. But I tell you, it's not just about social sciences, but mostly since statistics is used in social sciences, maybe the owner of the website or the owners of the website is specifically telling that we can use this in social sciences. All the calculators and tools featured here have been designed with ease of use and clarity of presentation in mind. Certainly, you should find them less cumbersome and definitely less expensive. This is definitely less expensive due to the fact that the best statistical tool that we can use, which is SPSS, is supposed to be purchased with license. And so, the owner of this website has offered us the same functionality as SPSS, but for free. The website has 3 main sections, which you would be able to see later on. The statistical calculators, which includes the hypothesis testing, p-value calculators, and so on. And you could also see the descriptive statistics button later on, as well as some features of the website. So upon going to this URL, https://www.socsistatistics.com, you would be able to see this homepage. Now, I would like to take my time and present to you as to how you are going to access the website. I believe I have to do this for you to be able to understand the value of the website itself. So I'll stop sharing and I'll go to my web browser. And simply to access the website, again, you could just simply type socsistatistics.com. And upon typing that, you should be able to arrive in its homepage, which looks like this. So you can see here several buttons like the home, calculators, let me zoom this in, calculators, descriptive statistics, merchandise, tutorials, quizzes, which statistics test, and contact. So in this case, I would like you to view briefly as to what the calculators contain. So in here, you can see some significance tests from ANOVA, binomial test calculators, chi-square, Fisher exact test, and so on. So these are just some statistical tests that can be seen in the calculator button, which for me are essential. Of course, for prediction, we have linear regression, and then there's correlation, p-value calculation, Bayes theorem, confidence interval, and so on and so forth. Now, I would like to click on one of the tests just for you to understand how simple this website is and how friendly it is for most of the users, especially if the users are just novice in terms of statistics. Let us say that I'll click on the one-way ANOVA button. Of course, this will give you this type of page wherein there are 5 treatments here. In this case, this website only offers treatments up to 5 groups. As we all know, ANOVA is used for testing the differences of 3 or more groups, which is why this is good enough for me. Now, you could simply encode or copy and paste the raw data for the treatment 1, treatment 2, and so on and so forth here. And after that, you don't need to do anything, but you just need to select the significance level, which is at 0.05 default. And it's the most recommended. And then after that, you could simply click the calculate button here, and you will arrive at a conclusion and the complete computation of the entire test or ANOVA test. Let me just have some raw data here just for me to show you how fast this works for everyone. So I'll just encode random data and let me see if this is accepted already. And I'll click on calculate. Once I clicked on calculate, you would be able to arrive at a different page wherein you can see success here in blue, which indicates the summary of data along with the ANOVA table, which you can find here. And this is the ANOVA table from the sources between treatments, within treatments, up to the computation of F. As you can see here, the F is 0 because I have encoded the same data for each treatment. And as you can see here also, there is already a conclusion for the entire computation, which is for me very friendly for a fact that you won't be able, you don't need to go to a critical table value for you to find the p-value. Yeah, and also there is already a conclusion that the difference is significant. Also, it is indicating another test. If we need the post hoc test, we can find it already here. And that is how friendly this website is. Now, you could explore on the different functionalities of this website. I am just here for me to introduce to you as to why I have used this in my statistics and probability classes. This one is very friendly, cost-effective, and it only deals with the encoding of raw data, which for me is very friendly to most students. Now, let me just highlight this part here, the quizzes part, where it gives us a random quiz about statistics, and you can just create it. So if you're a teacher, you would be able to utilize this as well. So I utilize this when I am forming my pre-test and post-test results so that I would be able to integrate the content of the website itself with regards to the method that I'll be using for my strategy. So that is just a quick tour on the website itself. Now let me go back to my presentation. Hopefully, I was able to enlighten you as to why I have used this tool for me to discuss statistics and probability and enhance the skills of my students in such area. All right, so here are the problems stated in the study. This research is conducted to determine the impact of soft-size statistics integration in test and evaluation in statistics in upscaling the performance on statistics of selected grade 11 students of Highway Hills Integrated School for the academic year 2020-2021. As you all know, in most of the countries, we are offering online classes for our students, which is why we have to lighten up the burden to most of the students who are not that performing well in terms of their classes during this pandemic. As we all know, we have to lengthen or strengthen our patience for these students for them to be able to absorb as much as possible all the information that we are trying to transfer in them. So the following are the questions to be answered or are already answered for this study. First is the level of performance of the statistics of grade 11 students before the implementation of the said strategy. Second, we are going to find the level of performance after the implementation of the strategy. And finally, we are going to find if there existed a significant difference between the results of the pre-test and the post-test upon the employment of SITE's strategy. So this research is limited to 100 grade 11 students of Highway Hills Integrated School who are studying under me that time last school year. The respondents are composed of 55 males and 45 females, and the strategy is done for a span of 2 months, discussing all the hypothesis testing and the basics of statistics using the online resource, which is the sock size statistics found earlier. Now, the research design is a mix of experimental and one-shot pre-test and post-test design. It is selected because the study wanted to determine the level of performance in statistics of the respondents and the effects of the intervention after it was utilized. The study measured the significant difference between the two assessments. These are the sources of data, which I have mentioned earlier. 100 grade 11 students of my school, 55 boys and 45 girls. Now, the performance level is basically computed in the as simple as possible. So I've just determined their scores divided by the total items multiplied by 100%, and I would be able to gauge their academic performance level based on the results of their pre-test and post-test. And I have devised this table for me to interpret. Now, since I have assigned them into 3 levels, then I have just divided the levels of ability in the following measurements. For the poor level, 70% and below, since the passing grade in the Philippines is 75%, then I could consider this as poor level. And then for good level, 71% to 85%, and 86 above is already satisfactory level. Here are the results of the study. For the performance of the students before the SITE's strategy, these are the results. Under the poor level, 70 of them out of 100 are there, which is 70%, obviously. Then for good level, that is 23%, and only 7% are under the satisfactory level, which provides me the need to conduct a strategy that would somehow change or somehow upscale the performance of these 70 or even these 23 students, and perhaps they could transfer into a higher level as compared before. Now, the mean score for the test is 22.14. The test is actually 50 items. And so the mean percentage score is 44.28%. Now, let's try to compare this with the results after 2 months of the SITE strategy. So after 2 months, the 70% earlier only became 13% on the poor level. Most of them have moved up to good level, which is now 57% compared to 23% earlier. And the 7% for the satisfactory have rose up. It was risen to 30% of the total respondents. And finally, the mean score is now actually almost doubled, which is 40.15. That is 80.3% of the test. Now, let us try comparing this using the t-test. So here is the mean score for the pre-test, 22.14. For post-test, it's 40.15. The degrees of freedom is 99. The computed t-value is 5,172.98, which is very high. Now, the critical value is 2.626. That shows significant differences for the entire results of the pretest and the post-test. It is very obvious comparing the mean alone, but I see that there is a need for me to use and clarify this using p-test, which is why I presented this to you. Now, based from the results, the following conclusions were drawn. First, there are 70 identified students under poor level, 23 on good level, and 7 on satisfactory level before the site's intervention. Now, after the site's intervention, these became 13 students under poor level, 57 on good level, and 30 on satisfactory level. The test was tested in 0.05 level of significance, and it showed a significant difference between the pretest and post-test results of these 100 grade 11 students that I have selected, employing the SITES strategy. Therefore, SOC-SI statistics integration in test and evaluation in statistics, or SITES, can enhance the level of performance in statistics of students through time. Now, I've basically written through time here, which indicates that I am still using the strategy up to now for me to be able to ascertain the findings that I have now. Now, basically, technology introduced to most students is not engraved in their minds if it's only introduced for a short amount of time, which is why I have emphasized that this strategy will only be effective if it is used under a longer period of time. For recommendations, mathematics teachers shall use SOC-SI Statistics website in teaching statistics on a daily basis to improve the level of performance of the students. The study involved a daily basis of introducing, reintroducing, and using the sites or the SOC-SI statistics in my classes so that the students would be able to familiarize themselves with the site as to how they are going to use it, and the hows of and the whys of how they are going, why they are going to use such tests. Now, SOC-SI statistics integration strategy shall be used as an intervention to improve the level of performance of the students under poor level. As you have seen earlier that there is a great number of students under poor level, which is why the strategy was utilized. Third, the school shall constantly monitor the level of performance of learners and provide technical assistance on improving it. And finally, a similar study shall be conducted to ascertain the findings of this research. Basically, a study that will cater a large amount of students. Basically, I selected 100 students simply because these are the only students who are capable of using internet at that moment when I utilize the strategy. These are my references. And if you have some questions regarding my study, you may email me at reynaldocollado@deped.gov.ph or reynaldo.collado@depedmandaluyong.org. Thank you very much and have a great day.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ronaldo. Is anyone have any question? Please, you're welcome to ask a question now.
Okay, I have a question, Ma'am. Sir, Mr. Collado, it's not really just a question, but of course, a commendation as well. Did you started with the basic concept of the statistical process before you go into the using or the integrating of the ICT in your class?
Yes, ma'am. I haven't told this, but before we utilize the website itself, we have the normal classes that we do wherein we discuss first the basic concepts of statistics. Let's say when I discussed the hypothesis testing for t-test, before we proceed with the use of the website itself, I have discussed to them as to when they are going to use the t-test, as to what research question would that apply, and the number of respondents that it should cater. Because t-test is, as we all know, is almost similar with z-test. It's just different with the number of respondents. So the basics are there before we proceed with the use of the website.
Okay, and I believe that the manual calculations are also there, including the
ma'am.
formula.
I only introduced them this site for them to utilize this and check their manual computation as well. So the manual computation is still there for me to tell whether they are really learning from the basics first before we proceed with the technology itself. So basically, it's just a safety net. The website itself is just a safety net for them to check if their solutions and their strategy in solving is correct or not.
Okay, congratulations in that case, congratulations, because knowing the concept and applying it into the ICT would make the students appreciate the learning and as well as the use of technology, make things easier for them. Okay, the reason why I am asking you this because the research of these two gentlemen has something to do with my research. Parang it looks like they are in order of the integrative and then the use of ICT. Okay, so I really commend these young teachers in the senior high school. Congratulations, and the ICT and the integrative approach is always being there in you. Keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Miss Maria.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right, so it's come to you.